topic is going to be a little lunchtime topic. I got a few minutes. Another research topic. Last time we did Proud Boys. This time I want to do QAnon because I have no idea what this is. I've heard a lot about it the past year, or maybe this year, I guess, but the past couple of weeks has been all of a sudden everybody that doesn't believe in, Antifa and the fucking Nazis burning our books and stuff like that is somehow QAnon, which I'm guessing means dashing and handsome. That's my interpretation of QAnon, I suppose, or dissenters and disagreeers, But dashing and handsome, it's Tuesday, right? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and look at this, right? So we're gonna go ahead and search. I'm not even sure how to spell this because the first few times I saw this, shop QAnon. Oh, is this? That's an apparel line? QAnon. We'll open up Wikipedia, fuck CNN, ABC, the QAnons. I don't know what that is. What the Bible says about QAnon. I was raised Catholic. I don't really recall this ever being a group in the Bible. So, Salon. I'm not open up a lot of these media things because I know that they typically spin everything one way or the other. Because, of course, we've been living with a mass murdering dictator president that is burning all our books and killing all our kids. And there's concentration camps, and we've lost, 16 million people in the past 4 years to the gas chambers. Right? So, which if that was really happening, I think the news would probably be telling us happy stories about, with the weather. They'd be so far removed from that reality. News. Since this is only news stories, I don't know. It was, Snopes. There we go. News. The complete QAnon. Cable's ground intelligence operations. Cable. Wasn't he from Battlestar Galactica? Mother Jones. Okay, so we're going to go with a couple of these articles, I guess. Let's go with the Bible, since I don't recall this ever being in the Bible. And if you look at all the search stuff, there's not even like a website. This is just news stories. ADL.org. Oh, okay. No, Defamation League. Yeah, everybody's Nazi with them, unless you're a Nazi, and then you're the good guy. So, and I'm not sure. Hopefully my mic is working. So we'll see. I'm beating around a lot too much here. Test. I'm going to check my audio level. It's got the right microphone. Okay, we'll just go with this. You're sending it. And if not, I'll try to do a little audio update in post-production. Okay, so exopolitics.org is probably another... We'll go with that. Salon, Guardian, Daily Beast. I'm beginning to think that this is a story concocted by media because there's no website, right? You can go to Patriot Prayer, or you can go to Antifa sites and order T-shirts, and you can go to Black Lives Matter sites and wear a communist T-shirt, and you can go to all these other groups and go to websites, Oath Keepers, I think, has been in the news, and not Patriot Prayer, the Proud Boys. I did that research topic earlier. Here, I am Anon. Yeah, okay, I kind of get what Anon is. So Q Anonymous, QAnon, SoundCloud, I'm not sure if I need to listen to this wildly unbelievable story. Okay, so this is just searching for QAnon. Let's take the hyphen out of this and see if that... Is that how it's spelled? It looks like it's how it's spelled. Because when I first started seeing this all the time, I kept thinking it was like Al-Qaeda or something. QAnons, I think open up that. News. QAnon news. I don't know. It's probably something in Greek. Quanon. I don't know. We'll go to that. Looks like a blog or something. The QAnon Hub. QA. Is this like questions and answers? QA? QAnon? I don't know what the hell that... Okay. Online. Q posts. Wait, the Great Awakening. Whatever. Sounds like the big turtles being woken up in the never-ending story or something. News. Twitter, yeah, of course. News. Independentco.uk. Well, I'm not trusting anything coming out of the UK anyways, because they're just, well, men are evil. End of story. Okay, New York Mag, Washington Post, Rolling Stone, New York Mag, Fox, Daily News, Psychology Today. Oh, that might be interesting. Granted, psychologists in the DSM now make maleness a mental disorder, so it tells you how much I trust those folks. Because... if that is the case, well, like I've always said, I am flaming heterosexual, baby. Alright, news. Snopes is fake news. And there, of course, is Reddit. News. Christianity Today. QAnon and Wolf's Clothing. Alright, something about it claims a secret cabal. We'll go ahead and open that. Okay, so now we've got maybe like 8 sites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sites. We'll go to Wikipedia, which I'm going to completely untrust because, this is probably being edited as we read it. A far-right conspiracy theory. So if it's a far-right conspiracy theory, why is all the left-leaning media writing about it? So I'm thinking it's a far-left conspiracy theory. Because if we go back to the search, there's a couple of things with Fox News in here, but all of this other stuff is just left-leaning news. Oh, there's Forbes. Majority of Republicans believe the QAnon conspiracy. September 2020. But see, they're even talking about making a conspiracy theory. Although, Pizzagate. So Pizzagate. Well, I'm not exactly sure what Pizzagate it was. So let's go ahead and, since QAnon is supposedly related to pepperonis, we're going to go ahead and look at Pizzagate, because I don't know, I'm not very familiar with this one. It has been extensively discredited by a wide range of organizations, and is a debunked conspiracy theory. Person email account John Podesta was hacked. WikiLeaks. Oh, this hasn't really been debunked at all. This is why Assange is locked up. So, well, and this whole thing right here, the U.S. restaurants with an alleged, wait a second, falsely claiming that emails contain coded messages that connect several high-ranking Democratic Party officials and U.S. restaurants with an alleged human trafficking and child sex ring. Well, I don't know about restaurants. I mean, that was a whole, what's his name, and that killed himself. One of like 60 people that happened to kill himself were around the Clintons. What was his name? Epstein? Something like that? Okay. Members of the alt-right conservative journalists, which there's like 4 of them in this country, I believe, spread the conspiracy theory on social media, 4chan, 8chan, and Twitter. Well, 4chan's kind of funny, so. A man traveled a Comet ping pong and fired a rifle inside a restaurant. Well, okay, so what they're saying is that somebody said something about this Comet ping pong, which is that a real restaurant or is it a ping pong place? All spread by teenagers. Genesis. Okay, this kind of seems like it's the pizzeria Comet Ping Pong. Okay, so QAnon started from Comet Ping Pong and a guy that went in there and shot a round in their place because they're saying that the Democrats are doing human trafficking and child sex rings. Well, I mean, minus the pizza shop, that's kind of true, right? That's what the whole Epstein thing, and then the whole, what's that fucking crazy place? Anyways, and then we still haven't heard about his old lady, right? So we'll find out. Okay, QAnon. So that was derived from Pizzagate, joining the sex trafficking and preventing a coup d'etat, feigned conspiracy with Russians to enlist Mueller. I don't think that was feigned conspiracy. I think that was preventing a coup d'etat. Okay, although theories, they use theories a lot. I don't know if they, what was that part on the Princess Bride? Boss, I don't, that word, I don't think that word means what you think it means. Because they try to use the word theory as something that is like bogus, but you come up with theory as the basis for your theorem, right? That's your proof. So it's just the beginning. It's an idea, and I think there's a lot of theories out there. We call them conspiracy theories. People trying to prove them. Yeah, sure, but at the same time, I don't know what I'm trying to say. A lot of things that then I see on the media is like, well, it's a conspiracy theory. Well, it's like, no, it happened. I saw it happen with my own eyeballs. It's real. I don't know about Pizzagate and Comet Ping Pong. Okay. A number of QAnon adherents is unclear as of October 2020, the number of QAnon adherents, but the group maintains a large online following. Yeah, I would say, because if you look back here, BuzzFeed, Rutgers, Pew Research, Business Insider, Bloomberg, Slate, Christianity Today, CBS News, USA Today, Reddit, Media Matters, another USA Today, another ABC, Snopes, New York Times, another Slate, yada, yada, yada. Yes, I would say that they have a very large online following, and it's usually on one side of the story, right? Okay. That's what it appears anyway. So that's why we're opening this up, because I've heard this a lot, and I don't know what the hell it's supposed to mean. QAnon. For me, it doesn't mean anything. I'm curious about this whole Bible thing. QAnon exhorts followers to take a digital soldier's oath. Exhorted followers to take a digital soldier's oath. Digital soldier's oath. What's a digital soldier? Is that one of your keyboard warriors? Well, okay. It still doesn't sound very far right to me. Because your real soldier's oath is probably to your Constitution that we all took. Support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I don't know what we're supposed to do online. I support and defend CNN's craziness against all enemies like Fox News and Parler. Okay, using the hashtag take the oath. Okay, I don't care. I don't care about hashtags. Facebook, blah, blah, blah. I don't care what Facebook says. What's this? Something about incidents. Tucson cement plant, Hoover Dam, targeting Avenatti. Avenatti targeted himself. Harassment of Jim Acosta. It was because he's an asshat. He calls this upon himself. So, just looking at the incidents. Well, let's go down to incidents because I'm curious about the Tucson cement plant. Video, the site of a Tucson cement plant. This is a child sex trafficking camp that no one wants to talk about. Okay, who I am. Arrested on terrorism and other charges in an armored truck, carrying a rifle and a pistol, and blocking traffic for 90 minutes. Okay, so investigation. Wait a second. To demand that the OIG, private email server. Okay, so he blocked a road across a dam. Okay, and he had his musket and his sidearm. Alright, heavily modified, which claimed the restoration of the report that had been heavily modified. Whatever. Avenatti, targeting. Avenatti did that to himself. He's just crooked as fuck, and I think everybody came after him because he's an asshat. Jim Acosta, if you ever watch him on the news, he's an asshat. So targeting him, that's not harassment. It's just telling, hey, dumbass, sit down. Grass Valley Charter School fundraiser. Okay. Canceled precaution after a tweet by Comey. Okay, I'm not going further than that. So, murder of Frank Kelly. Murder of Gambino crime family underboss Frank Kelly. Okay, whatever. That's probably had it coming anyways. Kidnapping incidents. Okay, so I think they're just making things up here. So, whatever. People react and because they're irrational and they don't have friends and whatnot. And why do they not have friends? Well, it's a myriad of reasons. First and foremost, people are meant to be separated from each other and whatnot. When you don't have friends, then you don't have any checks on reality. So I think it's pretty easy to kind of slip into these things. It's just like when a friend of yours is drinking all the time, right? And they've been kind of in a bummed out mood for like months and months, and I'm like, well, at the same time, it's because you drink every night too. Lay off the booze just for 4 or 5 days, get some good sleep, and you'll come out of that funk, And if they do that, if you can talk them into doing that, they will. But if that friend of yours doesn't have any friends, or he's unwilling to listen to those friends, well, then he's going to progress further and further into that slump, right? So I think a lot of this stuff is people, I don't know. I mean, some people are very susceptible to addictions, and I think this addiction of needing to believe in like this pedophile ring. At the same time, I don't know. They're giving you like 1 or 2 sentences of something here and trying to tie it to this QAnon. So, anyways, that Wikipedia's not telling me much other than this. People are mad about Clinton's, and I'm kind of annoyed too. I would like to see our leadership held accountable like everybody else is held accountable. And I'm not talking about like, well, I commit murder and I get 55 years to life in prison, and she commits murder and she gets 16 months of parole or probation, right? That's not that. That's the kind of accountability that I'm not talking about. I'm just saying. Okay, so they got people making movies or flags. Project Veritas. Workers told. Okay, that was on there. Dominion voting machines. Okay, so they're just kind of repeating the news. Let's look at the little ads over here, because those are kind of interesting. Bitch slap all you Americans for allowing this shit. Okay. If I was alive. This whole... Okay, using dead heroes in cartoon. Okay. So pretty much it seems like a news aggregator. And yeah, right, probably a right-leaning news. Okay. So that's probably why the left hates them so much, because I don't believe that any news should exist unless it's procured by, the mystery of law or love, right? All right. All right, so this seems like a news aggregator. It kind of reminds me of those religious websites, which tells me too that it's probably got malware on this, and I'm putting myself at risk. Okay, so... But I don't run my computer as an administrator. Rule number 1 of owning a computer: do not ever run the computer as the administrator. Create a user account. because even if you get infected, this is a bunny trail by the way, but even if you get infected, that virus or that bad code may live in memory. A reboot normally fixes that, but if you run as an administrator, it can install on your computer, and it can live at the kernel level, and you'll never know it's there. So, okay, what the Bible says about QAnon. I'm curious about this because I don't recall. Well, there's many things to say about conspiracy theories, especially in regards to, okay, the biblical analysis impulse is that you have to be afraid of someone lying to you. You don't have to be afraid of somebody lying to you. You have to confront the person that's lying to you. So I don't know if that's a really good biblical analysis, because you're supposed to confront those that are wronging you and yours and your community. So, because, I mean, you shouldn't be scared and run away from them, because then the liar just sticks around lies, you know. But if you confront the liar and you out the liar, you shame them, because, and it's different, like, well, you're a man, so you blah blah blah, you're worthless. No, I'm talking about, it's like, hey everybody, this guy is actively lying to me, and he's dealing with you and you and you, you know, make other people question, you know, his motives and so forth. You have to lean into the wise practices that God has given us as people to discern what is worth listening to and what is not. And people say that God sent COVID-19. Okay. Highlights from... Okay, so this isn't saying what the Bible says about this. This is somebody saying something about how you should be scared of people selling ideas that you don't like. Okay. So the Bible didn't say anything about QAnon. Okay. I thought I missed that chapter. Okay. QAnon articles. QAnon represents a group of U.S. military intelligence officials committed to preventing the deep state's agenda and to weaken the U.S. military through endless wars. Committed to preventing the deep state's agenda. So this doesn't make any sense right here, because the U.S. military intelligence officials are really committed to being a part of the deep state's agenda, if we believe in the deep state, right? But a lot of these old military, or not military, but intel heads of like NSA, CIA, they now own companies that sell the data of citizens in this country as a commodity, and then they sell those overseas, and then we can be attacked over here. They've made you a commodity, no different than Facebook. So I don't, you know, I used to support the U.S. intel community, but the stuff I saw before I retired, I stopped. I couldn't be a part of that anymore. So, but the deep state's agenda to weaken the U.S. military through endless wars. See, they're not weakening the U.S. military through endless wars. They're actually strengthening their pocketbooks through endless wars. And the U.S. military just becomes corporate security, I think. That's my opinion. That's not... And deleting and replacing the U.S. Constitution as critical steps to a one-world government. Okay, so this seems to be... This is exopolitics.org. Quarticles. Sounds scientific, right? Quarticles. Okay. Extraterrestrial factor. Extraterrestrials crashed. And galactic implications. Okay, so we know what kind of website we're on right now. Okay, so... Aliens. Alright. Oh, it even says right here, following articles. QAnon phenomenon leaked in primarily from exopolitical perspective. Exopolitics. Off the world politics. Okay. Highly advanced secret space programs and extraterrestrial life. Okay. Well. I'm not going to go down the Men in Black route today. This video will get Donald Trump elected. QAnon news. We're not going to watch any videos because I don't care. QAnon pub. Shall we play a game? Okay, that's the war games thing. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here, except it looks like people brought back 1994. And I'm going to probably guess This is from one person, creator QNTM Packets. Pub. I don't know what .pub means, so I don't know if this is supposed to be a news aggregator of some sort. QAnon. Let's see. Join the conversation. Chat securely with dedicated, like-minded patriots. Keybase.io maintainer. So let's go to that. What's that? Keybase.superlight.pub. I don't see anything here other than, I don't know, nothing much. QNTMP kits 5 Omega. That's constant. What? Okay, well, these people need to drink more coffee. Super light. Key-based team of the group can end-to-end cryptography. This means that teams chats. Okay. Okay, I don't know what that's all about. The super elite. I thought it was super light. Okay, super elite.pub, whatever. We'll go ahead and close out the source. 592 posts. What is this? qpost.online. This kind of looks the same as this. Same picture. Twitter term to Murdoch. I thought that was right here. Yeah. Ends in 77. Yeah, ends in 77. Okay, so these two are just the same thing. Okay, they just, one's black, one's white. Alright. What kind of person believes in QAnon? Well, apparently left-leaning media believes in QAnon. You know what? You ever read 1984? Or even watch that movie from approximately 1984 to about 1984? It's a pretty good rendition of the book, I think. And I haven't read the book in like 25 years. But there was always that war, always the war, always that thing you need to rally the people behind, and they're the mindless drones, you know, that you have to run into the ground like a cult leader runs their followers into the ground and so forth. But there's always that war, and everybody hears the shots being fired off in the distance, you know, like you live next to an impact area. And it just keeps people hammering away or doing whatever they're supposed to do without thinking about it, just doing it and so forth. You know, keeping that machine alive and just being, okay, let's go. Anyways, I think right now my gut feeling is, this is Psychology Today, my gut feeling is that since almost all of these things writing about, except for like Fox and some of these, I'm not sure about their left-leaning, if they're left-leaning or not. Like Sloan, I know is. Anyways, let's go back to Psychology Today. I think this is left media's conspiracy theory that they're trying to. Apparently, they're selling T-shirts and merchandise, so somebody's making money. Creators of certain cognitive quirks among those who believe in conspiracy theories, like need for uniqueness, needs for certainty, closure and control, and a lack of analytical thinking. So yes, I mean, I also believe that anybody with conspiracy theories, that people that really go with that, typically seem to be a little bit childlike in their thinking. They don't have that emotional intelligence, emotional IQ. And so forth. Maybe it's my gut feeling. That's from what I've observed, but I have to admittedly say I have observed very little. It's just, I think things like the History Channel are kind of great when people bring out the aliens, whatever that alien, Ancient Aliens, I think it was. I watched that show with my son a few times. There are a couple other conspiracy channels on History Channel, which is kind of funny, on aliens and so forth. And my son's at the time was 8 or 9. He's like, oh my god, is this real? I'm like, no, I mean, it might be, who knows, but until it's proven to us, it's not, right? Always believe your eyeballs, don't believe the words, right? If your eyeballs tell you that it's real, then start going down that way and start investigating. But if people with crazy hairs freaking out about it, well, you can just marry that. But This means that most likely mistrust mainstream sources of information. Well, I think the mainstream has really made us mistrust mainstream sources of information, or a lot of us anyways. There's a lot of people that are really stuck in their bubbles. They talk. That's why I made a video about breathing each other's air, and that's what I think it is. Lack of oxygen. Appealing to some, serve as hooks to lure people. Obvious central pro-Trump anti-liberal component, but there's also considerable overlap with evangelical Christianity. I don't know if you can overlap evangelical Christianity with Trump and anti-liberal nowadays, because I think evangelicals seem to be firmly in the side of control. So, I mean, they're supporting the left by all means. I mean, hell, even the Catholics are supporting Joe Biden, and Catholics, I was raised Catholic, and, like one of the big no-nos is, like, abortion, and, but they're like, but in this instance, it's okay. For Biden, and Kamala, horrible Harris, it's okay to have abortion as long as it's them, right? So there's a clear double standard just for politics. So, and that's irritated the living snot out of me. But anyways, so the psychology today is kind of talking about the people who might. Well, first they're kind of prefacing it, right? So I disagree with some of this when you're doing psychology today, but first you're trying to preface it by setting a condition on how people, they're telling stories about this. Turn a blind eye to President Trump's own friendship with nobody's turning a blind eye. Billionaires are going to take pictures with billionaires, but nobody's ever said or shown or anything that Trump went down to his little fantasy island there with midgets and shit. So, if Trump was at his Mar-a-Lago place and Epstein came by and it was like another billionaire, he probably just took a fucking picture with the guy. It's like, hey, publish, who cares? But that's not turning a blind eye. Where's the proof? Right? We have lots of other proofs, but none of it has to do with Trump. All right, in order to maintain fringe beliefs. Okay, so you know what? The psychology today here is already they're kind of being demeaning in some ways, because people may believe this QAnon stuff, and I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter whether or not I believe it or not. I don't believe that a psychologist should be coming out automatically and saying something like, well, you're just believing fringe beliefs. Well, you should probably get to the root of that problem, not just smearing their surface just to shame your customer, essentially. Because a lot of people do go to psychologists, I think, because they need that dose of reality, not to be shamed, It might be best to bring QAnon at all. Okay, so common ground, use the word scared. I wouldn't use the word scared. If you're not looking for a fight, don't argue and don't engage. What they're saying here is don't have a conversation about it, right? Because, I can't remember the black guy's name, but he actually talked many people out of being Klans members, he's a black guy, because people are like, oh, I didn't realize, and whatnot. So there's a valid reason to engage people in what you believe may be a story that is not true. QAnon is a wolf in wolf's clothing. Christianity today. Okay, so it kind of goes back to that psychology today. He doesn't know much about QAnon, but I understand that they like me very much, which I appreciate. Okay, that's a very Trump thing to say. Crux of theory. Saving the world from this cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Okay, this is the first time I've heard cannibals raised in Christianity today. Okay, maybe I need to go more to CNN. They probably started the cannibal thing too. He shared his post from QAnon Twitter accounts. And he probably, whatever, that's so fucking sidebar. That's like you use ketchup out of a bottle that somebody else used ketchup out of. Trump is a salesman, so he's going to use things that are definitely going to be in his favor as part of his sales pitch. So it doesn't matter who that's coming from. If you're among the majority of Americans unfamiliar with QAnon, a pause for definition may be in order. So they already spend 3.5 paragraphs here kind of dismantling what QAnon is, and then they want to tell you what QAnon is. Cannibalism of a sort, Neanderthal bugbear of world domination and human sacrifice. Okay. This kind of starts to remind me of that thing that was back in the 80s and the early 90s. That I think it was out in California. They had that, all the politicians were going out there. They had this big friggin' thing where they were sacrificing like an effigy or something, and politicians were having butt sex and whatnot. But I can't remember the name of that place. That's such a long time ago. And nothing, blah, blah, blah. Cabal is QAnon's version of the fall, like autumn, or the fall of something. It's explanation for what's wrong with our world. Q is a movement's John the Baptist. Okay. So I have not been sprinkled with water or dipped in lakes anytime soon or lately. Drops are its scripture. Drops, I don't know what drops are. Drops are its scripture, and Trump is its messiah, or ostensibly working at great personal cost to defeat the cabal and usher in a new age of American greatness. They're mixing ideas here. Okay. Well, and let's go. The majority of Republicans believe in QAnon conspiracy is partly or mostly true. Well, it really depends on conspiracy among deep state elites is mostly true. Okay, so 33 and 50, so it's 56% believe it could be at least some true, which I think is reasonable. 4% of Democrats think the theory is even partly true. Oh, okay, so those are your real Democrats. You're probably moderates that look with their eyes open. QAnon supporters support of defending the planet from a cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles. This is really getting weird. FBI, this is from Forbes even. FBI has identified QAnon conspiracy theories as extremists who pose a potential domestic terror threat. Well, you know, they don't think that about, you know, people that are actually burning our cities though either. So, I mean, I've worked with the FBI. I like the FBI for the most part. A lot of sharp people, but their leadership, the past few years has left me questioning, you know, a lot of things from my past. Anyways, late last month, after he declined to denounce QAnon, well, how can you denounce a conspiracy theory? Right? There's not a single goddamn website on this. I can go to Antifa websites, but Antifa is not a real group. I can go to Black Lives Matter, but they're not really communists, even though they support communist overthrow of the country. Because QAnon and the conspiracy theories it promotes are danger. So you denouncing a conspiracy theory, that's okay. I don't know if they read their own reports. It sounds a little funny to me. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and tie this up because I am under the firm belief, just through just this DuckDuckGo search, that QAnon is a left-wing conspiracy theory, because almost everybody that's writing about it is left-leaning. There's a Fox News story in here somewhere. Let's actually bring that up and see when that was, what's about, here it is, enters politics, theory enters politics. Let's see what this says. What to know. Q is removed from the fringes, fringes of the image board 4chan and the ballot boxes. So that tells you everything right there. Fringes of the image board 4chan. That's all I need to know on this. Okay. If you guys don't know what 4chan is, maybe I'll do another video on 4chan, but this is it is a hoax. It's a hoax to get left-leaning media. If that's coming from 4chan, my guess is that this is a big hoax to get left-leaning media, the bad guy that they so desperately need. And so they can, because I mean it was really kind of steamrolling down into aliens and Satan-worshipping pedophiles and fucking cannibalism. Yeah, that sounds like 4chan to me. All right, I think we found our answer. Have a great day, boys and girls.